Hey everyone, and welcome to the first video in my Tokyo Marui Glock 17 SAI build. I plan to make this video series a bit more like actual episodes rather than a series of just update videos, and I'll try my best to do something similar to that with the limited equipment that I have. I originally hoped to keep this consistent post of videos on a somewhat regular basis, but considering that I'm excited to start this build, that's probably not going to happen. I've already purchased the gun, which I'll talk about in a minute, but as of right now, I don't really have as many of the parts I'd like to have. I still need to get things like the slide and upgrade parts, but I don't have those because number one, they take time to ship, and mainly number two, in Canada here, the websites are down for about a month as they do organize all their stock. So I'm going to be trying to do what I can without the parts that I need for the actual build itself. And of course, doing a build like this isn't something cheap. The gun itself was around $300 after $330 after tax, and the other parts will be around $200 to $250. And that's just what I've calculated so far. I may need more things in the future. Of course, there are many ways of achieving this end goal of a SAI Glock. You could either buy a pre-made salient Glock like the Stark Arms one, or even something like this for like $200 to $250, this WE salient style. But of course, you could also buy a used pre-built SAI Glock, or you could buy all the parts, give it to a tech, have them install it, or even just pay someone to make you one. But really, what is the fun in that? I mean, that's not really a project pistol. Now, I haven't really done a build or modifications on a scale like this before. I have installed external parts and rails on my AR platform, and I have stippled a few grips before, but nothing really on the scale. Now, this SAI style Glock from WE was around $200, and it was good at the time. It has all the characteristics of a salient Glock, like the stippling, gold barrel, flat trigger, and as well, lightning cuts on the slide. However, if I decided that if I truly wanted a salient arms Glock, I wasn't going to half-ass it. I was going to go full-on, full build. That's why I'm deciding to start fresh, and I'm going to start with this, the infamous Tokyo Marui Glock 17. Now, of course, as a TM, it's all plastic, but that really doesn't matter to me too much. I'm not someone who thinks everything should be metal, just for the sake of realism. I mean, it works. These things work so well stock, even with all the plastic parts. I mean, yes, they do sometimes sound a little cheap, but if you're someone who can deal with that, then these are great. And of course, these are amazing pistols to start with. These are just a great base platform to upgrade with. Now, of course, there are many other videos on YouTube that tell you about how great these things are. This isn't going to be a review video, but if you do want to look at reviews on the Tokyo Marui Glock 17, there are many other great reviews out there on YouTube. So now that I've introduced the pistol, I can talk about the upgrades that are going to happen to this. As of right now, of course, as I said before, there are no parts, and the funny thing is, what's happening first is actually what worries me the most, which is the stippling. So I'm going to be doing the stippling myself with my 2 hours of prior experience, as well as undercuts under the trigger guard and a comet cut for the mag release. Now, I don't have a waffle iron or a special tool that a lot of the professionals use for stippling, but I'm going to be using just a standard single tip on a soldering iron. So this is going to be done by hand, of course, and I have practiced stippling a little bit. I've stippled a few grips, as well as this one that I did recently that I am very proud of, actually. And this was one design that I do quite like how well it turned out. The stippling looks quite random. It's consistent. You don't really see too much of the actual smooth material underneath all the stippling. It does look quite randomized. It's not like a linear pattern the entire across, and it's not too aggressive, so it is actually quite comfortable to hold on to. So that being said, one of the first things I'm going to have to do to this before I can stipple it is actually I need to sand off all the original texturing on it. All the texturing on the front and on the back strap, and here on the sides. which that worries me the most because I don't at this point have an extra frame to work on, so if I do mess up this frame, I will be kind of screwed. So I am a bit worried. This is the most worrying part for me, is just dremeling out and making sure everything's even. I don't dremel too much out. I do want to keep the Glock logo, so I will have to figure out to dremel around that. And then I need to figure out how I'm going to get rid of the back, and I gotta get rid of the front. Then I need to do the undercuts as well, under the trigger guard. So I'll have to be careful with that. Now this video doesn't include any actual work on the Glock itself. I want to start to make an introduction video and tell you how my plans are, how I'm going to start, and with that said, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you watch it all the way through to the end, I thank you for listening to talk all this long. Hopefully in the not too distant future I will start actually working on the Glock with the Dremel and the stippling, and we'll see how that turns out. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're watching this in the future, hopefully I'll have more videos out by then, and if not, I hope you subscribe to the channel and join me on this amazing journey of building a Glock that I'm pretty sure no one else has ever done before. I mean, come on, it's a preposterous idea that anybody would build a salient arms Glock, right? No, that's a lie, people have done this.